So hello guys, today we're gonna start a new series, 1 hour with the subreddit. We're gonna go through some subreddit, like getting to know it and just see what people's opinions are on this subreddit. So let's start the timer and we'll do 1 hour with the subreddit antiwork. So we go to Reddit, antiwork, and let's see how it's going. So I'm not gonna focus on this drama that it was with this subreddit anti-work. We're just gonna go into some reddits, read some comments, read some reddits and just comment on them. And yeah, let's see what it is now. A 10k salary in 2025 has the same buying power as 53 in the 2000. No wonder everyone feels broke. The math is insane. Yeah, that's pretty common. So this subreddit anti-work is based more in the USA, but the same thing is applying to Europe and the rest of the world. Like this, everything is going crazy. This inflation is going crazy in last years. So yeah, it's only 25 years ago. We went from 1,000 to 53,000. It's pretty mad. Let's see what the comments are. So I basically made the amount my whole adult life. Yeah. That's why we just feel that even though we are working, we're only on the same, just doing the same, not going up in life. Like you're earning more, like this 100,000, but then it is just nothing. Yeah. Yeah. If you calculate it, you're even making less. It's sad actually. I did my shopping for Thanksgiving dinner this week and went back to my Kroger app to pull my receipt for the same exact dinner last Thanksgiving. Total 2024, $261. Total 2025, $312. Well, let's assume that this person right here bought the same things from last year also. So I'll make sure that I'm recording. Yes, I am. So this person made the same, made the same shopping cart last year and this year, but this year it's a lot higher. How many percent are this? Let's calculate them. Calculator, let's see, 312,88 minus 261, the difference is like $51. Yeah. This is pretty big difference. Pretty big difference, I would say. In just 1 year, like the inflation is going crazy in the whole world. Even though they say it is just about 5-6%, even here in Europe, it's just crazy. I should have voted. Well, I don't know if this is Mr. President Trump's fault, because here in Europe it's happening also the same. Also, the inflation is crazy. Okay, let's move on. Apparently, I'm not allowed to sleep on unpaid lunch breaks. Let's read this one. I took my lunch break and clocked out for a break at 10 a.m. Was gonna clock it in at 10:30, half an hour of a break. Got my alarm set to 10:28. I clocked in the work at 6 a.m. and get off too. Took a nap in my car. She came banging on my door on 10:25, telling me to come inside, that I'm not allowed to sleep on my break until all the work is done. I had just done around CNA, everyone was taken care of. Yeah, those kind of, there are just some toxic people everywhere like in our lives. Somebody so entitled because of 5 minutes more or less. Like in your break, you're allowed to do whatever you want. Yeah, document by email. Yeah, I mean, it's not so serious. It's not something like so serious, but whenever this happens every single day, or pretty often, I would say, then yeah, it's annoying. It is annoying. Let's continue. Trump treats immigrants, banned and votes who throw settlers out. Yeah, I'm not gonna go into some politics here. We're just here for the subreddit and just spend a good time reading through it and commenting on it. Just give my thoughts, that's all. Let's see this one. Oops. There's some pretty wild stuff here sometimes in this subreddit. Like I used to check it out like often, but not so much now. Company missed my paycheck again, second time. Told my boss I'm not touching on another thing until the money hits my account. No explanations, no excuses anymore. He tried the usual. It will be sorted by Monday routine. I said cool, see you Monday, then walked out. Got on the call an hour later, payment will be processed same day. Funny how fast, yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, these things happen. Like, we all work for money. Like, the most important thing is the money. That's why we go there. A lot of people, probably 90% of people, wouldn't even work, or they wouldn't work this kind of a job if it wasn't for the money. So yeah, if this requirement is not met, like if they don't pay you on time, yeah, that's the most basic stuff. My corporate job set up at 8 a.m. Let's see, corporate jobs. We always have this illusion maybe of these corporate jobs like being not so stressful, let's say, but sometimes they got pretty wild. Let's see. My corporate job set up at 8 a.m. meeting for the morning of Thanksgiving. I just didn't respond. Yeah. Thanksgiving is just pretty important in American culture and American history, and yeah, it's more or less like Christmas everywhere. So if you have to work, it's just shitty. And even at 8 a.m., that's 8 in the morning. I was hanging with my girlfriend last night, excited to stay up late, hang out, yeah, weekend. Yeah. Yeah, it's normal to just feel angry about it, just to be full of rage. Because you just made up your mind that you're gonna be free, you just have your rest, your time off, and then they hit you with those messages. I've been angry also, because this changes the schedule. Yeah. I just didn't respond. The 2 days off in a row, the longest stretch of time. Yeah, of course. Happy Thanksgiving, man, whoever this is. Yeah, I'm just thinking about some people, they take their jobs like really seriously, like they're so entitled to it, they even try to do some sacrifices with their jobs. I mean, they want to do sacrifices with their lives for their jobs. I don't think that's a healthy lifestyle. If you want to grow and to go somewhere and reach, that is okay, of course, like in your career, but come on. We people were just made to just interact with other people and just live the life happily, not just go on 8 a.m. on Thanksgiving. Yeah. LinkedIn. LinkedIn. Tell me about it. Tell me about this LinkedIn stuff, man. It's pretty wild out there. Yeah, I like this. I like this very much. It just seems like it's useless. Just searching for these jobs in LinkedIn. I mean, even 367, I would probably... This is pretty good. I mean, sometimes I appear in 1 or 2 searches in a week. But 300 and still doesn't get a job. Yeah, that's pretty wild. But I like the meme. I like it. Trump second term golf. We're just not going to comment. Of course, if you want me to check out some other like subreddits, your favorite subreddits, you can just comment them below, and next time maybe we'll review them. Spotted in Manchester. If you can send Katy Perry to space, you can pay more tax. Yeah, that's one thing. That's completely valid. Like, the rich people, maybe they're not taxed accordingly to their riches. I don't know. Crazy how cities like Manchester end up being the places where people finally speak the truth about billionaires playing astronauts games while avoiding taxes. Generally one of the biggest modern jokes. Yeah, unfortunately it is like that. Yes, they're just measuring their private parts one with another and not paying according to their benefits. See, Gen Z son is truly anti-work and I could not be prouder. Let's see. That's interesting take on it. I am Gen X. Gen X is like 90s, some late 80s till 2000, I think. Let's see. Generations timeline. Let's see. Okay, Gen X. Okay, so they're the other ones. Okay, so I am Gen X. That means from 1965 to 1980. Okay, take this out. So Generation X until 1980. I'm Generation X and recently retired after 30 years in a government job. Congratulations. While I was working on my graduate degree in public administration, I delved deep into how the deck was stacked against millennials and Gen Z. Yeah. It is difficult for millennials and Gen Z. Yeah, of course, millennials. I was talking about millennials. I submitted multiple papers about how bad leadership or misdirected leadership of the Gen Z was going. My son, 23, so he is the Gen Z 1997 to 2010. Okay, nice. Yeah. 23 is in college and holds down a part-time job. He had been working for a local pizza chain and seemed to like encourage for his birthday. I met and got another person to cover his shift. I'm not for the manager, and about 2 hours before our reservation, he gets a call from Jim. He had to come. My son pushed it back and told Jim that terminated. If you aren't here for your shift, then don't come in ever. Trope. My son acknowledged the comment, and then we went to dinner as planned. When the calls and texts started coming, my son just silenced the phone because of short-sighted. Maybe the title is a little bit misleading. I don't think his son is like anti-work. It's just some common sense. If somebody calls you, like if you are free and somebody calls you, it's your decision if you're gonna go or not. Nobody can tell you you have to come. Of course, that's just some common sense. This is exactly why younger generation are rejecting the loyalty at all cost mindset. They've seen what happens when companies exploit dedication. Your son didn't bail on a shift, the GM failed to plan. Like the problem is younger I'm a generation I'm a generation millennial. Yeah, I'm a millennial, of course I am. I was born in 1990, so I'm a millennial. So our generation is the last one which has this mindset of loyalty at all cost. This thing here. Just to make sure I'm still recording. Seems like it. Yes. So, yeah. My generation is the last one that had this mindset, maybe. The younger generations, they're more flexible about the... Oops, I closed this comment. Yeah. The younger generation, they're just more open about the work. And they should be. They're more critic about the work. Like they value their time, not the time that they're spending on their job. That's a good thing, of course. Of course, like it's the company's duty to make you wanna work. Like you are working for a company, the company itself has to offer you good enough like benefits and salary and everything, so you turn your mindset into loyalty at all cost. It's the company's problem, not your problem. Like it used to be like that maybe in the 50s, 60s, like you just go to work somewhere and you have good benefits, good salary, you could afford anything. So of course you're loyal to them. And this developed into some kind of a mindset onto the people. But of course companies started taking advantage of it. They started exploiting this thing. Like telling you some phrases like, we're not working, we're a family. That's some bullshit. Make me feel like I'm a family. I don't have to feel right away, I have my family. Make me feel like I'm part of this thing and I'll be loyal to you. Of course. Okay, let's continue then. Got laid off and thought I was expendable. My entire department fell apart. I'm just from the title, I know what happened there. It happens pretty often. Like some people that they know their jobs, they're told they're expendables. Let's read through it. Just stay hydrated. So I got laid off and thought experiments. So my company did restructuring. Oh my god. And let me go along with the two others. During my exit, management said I was good but not critical to operations. Apparently, I was easily replaceable. Oh my god. See, that's the other problem. These managers, they think just because they have this position, they took this position like by some kind of luck or something. They're above you. They're above the normal worker. And most of the time they don't know shit. I manage all the vendor relationships and project coordination for our department. Didn't think it mattered to them. Within a month, think from about vendors were confused about contract deadlines, got missed, nobody knew how to call a major contract. Of course, this thing happens. From starting calling me asking for advice. I was already consulting for one biggest vendor. They saw the chaos, asked if I work from them. Essentially doing the same work but for better pay and actually appreciated. Current company lost 3 contracts because of the fumbling. The vendor I now consulting with. They're the second biggest revenue stream to my post. No thanks, feels good. I am happy for this person. Of course, this thing happens. The thing is, if the management doesn't know what are you exactly doing, like the manager has to know what every single one is doing in this department or in this whole company. And I'm just thinking about, because they just say, okay, we'll just fire people and replace them with AI or whatever, or not even replace them. They say, yeah, we have to save some money from somewhere, we have to replace people or just fire them. The thing is, if you don't know what exactly this person is doing, then how are you gonna fire him? It makes no sense. Yeah. Just firing somebody because of money, because of profit and benefits and stuff, it's not gonna do it. I'm happy for this person. They found a good job maybe, and of course they found a better job, and they're doing exactly the same, yeah. And this management can go somewhere. Sorry, I'm just a little bit constipated. Yeah. Perfect example of why the workplace is so draining. Let's see. My coworker left out department a few months ago for a new department. A few times a week, she sends me Teams message to see how things are going. How was your weekend, etc. This morning, my manager saw my coworker's name pop up on my computer while my manager was looking at spreadsheets with me. My manager asked, how often do you meet? Didn't say anything because I was surprised at the question. Then my manager says, answer the question. I can request the transcripts of your chats if I want. So, oh, that's too much. I'm going to put end of it. I assumed she was going to have a chat with my coworker to ask her to stop messaging. Man, this manager. I mean, of course, we're assuming that all of this is true, right? Assuming that all of this is true, it's pretty wild story. It's frustrating for Tuesday. We are all adults, and this could have been resolved with a simple conversation asking my coworker not to message me during work hours. It may look to my coworker that I'm complaining to HR. If HR goes to thoughts on this, I truly believe my manager must be bitter that my coworker left and want to get back at her. Either way, I hate being caught in the middle of it. Sounds like your coworker had the right idea to transfer to another team. You should follow her lead. Yeah. First of all, to this person, he or she shouldn't feel guilty about anything. I understand that is a stressful situation, of course, but it's not this person's fault. Of course not. They're just being polite, continuing a relationship with the next coworker. Everything's nice. Like, this manager has the problem with it, so it could have started or stopped by many ways. Yeah, it's just pretty wild. Let's see, this one's in the news. Communism. Boss wants worker to give 110%. Boss doesn't pay. Yeah. It's also a good meme. I like some good memes, of course. Let's see the comments. Sorry. Yeah. Everybody is expecting to give everything for a minimum wage salary. Like barely a salary that barely gives you something to live on, to pay your rents, your necessities, and everything. Our entire team just had this realization this year. Shit. Last year, owing so the business busted us. The result of risk on wage increase for the technical team members and the lungs. Now, that is... So we got pissed and realized pushing yielding no reward. Management has to report their progress company-wide 3 weeks and are hitting their... Report their progress company-wide. Man, we have to talk about that. If you give, like, let's take this meme. If you give your 110%, you won't be rewarded with 110% pay. You know what you are gonna be rewarded with? More work. So everybody will give you a lot of work. If you do it, your only reward will be more work. Man, it's wild. Yeah, you go, you give 110% of you, then you know what will happen next time? They will give you extra 10% of work. But no, they won't pay you more. Then they will give you more work until you just collapse. I had a friend of mine who told me, like, just go to work and do the bare minimum you're expected to. That's why if they give you a little extra, you won't feel it. It's like all of us, or I'm pretty sure a lot of people, they want to work a lot and give everything, but the thing is you have to feel appreciated. Not with more work, but with more salary or with some other benefits, because at the end of the day, as I said earlier, you're just working for money. Yeah. Let's do this thing, let go a day before Thanksgiving after 4 years with company. Yeah, that's pretty shitty. I'm not sure where to begin, other than I need to be very clear in saying that this happened yesterday, so I'm very much still sour and hurting from this news. I know I will most likely find another work opportunity, but for now I would like to bitch about my situation for a bit. So, 25 female, worked at this local business for 4 years as a receptionist. I cleaned the businesses, answered phone calls, scheduled appointments for all the employees, and generally loved what I did and who I worked with, minus a few natural... Man, I've never been a manager myself. I mean, I've been a manager, but I never, like, owned a business or something. So I don't know how the owners of businesses think. But it's common sense. Just if you find somebody that loves their job, if you find some employee that loves her job, she said she's a female, so yeah, she loved her job. She cleaned the business, answered phone calls, she did more things that she's supposed to. Then the minimum thing that you can do as an owner of this business or as a manager, if it's a bigger business, it's try to do everything in your strength to hold this person right here. Like, she's giving everything. You have to try to hold her. Try her to be happy, and she'll be working for her whole life there. Let's continue. Okay, yesterday I received an awful news from my mother that my 13-year-old childhood dog is going to be put down, and I text my boss that I plan to swing by her house to say goodbye to him before going in. I made sure I didn't even take up a full hour and I was at work by noon. We open at 11. The whole day was pretty rotten for me because of putting my dog down, but I still worked the full day regardless. Yeah, see? She loves her job. Even when her dog, she's 25, so the dog was 13. So she was 12. She was just a child when her dog went into her life. So even though they had to put it down, I mean the dog, she still worked. She was just 1 hour later. Let's get into the wild stuff. At 5 p.m., my boss rolls his chair over to me and tells me he has to let me go. He tells me he can keep me on for 2 more weeks and that he still plans on giving me my Christmas bonus, but at this point I'm barely hearing him. I'm staring a million miles away and I feel like I can't breathe. These bosses, man. And this kind of bosses, this kind of bosses, they just go and bitch that nobody wants to work. They cannot find anybody to work. And what did they do? They just left this ringworm pants go. They let her go. And then they go and they bitch that nobody wants to work. Just because of 1 hour. She took 1 hour. Man, this is crazy, man. I'm being laid off the day before Thanksgiving. My childhood dog was put down this morning and my last payday is December 10th, right before Christmas. I have been here for nearly 4 years. The only reason I was giving was can't afford to pay me anymore. I am being driven absolutely crazy, not knowing why I couldn't have just been told on Friday. Why I couldn't listen. Yeah. They couldn't just, they can't afford to pay me anymore. That's some bullshit. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I learned a very unfortunate lesson to not put value co-workers or supervisors. They do not care about you. They do not care about your well-being or your ability to live or your health. They care about money. This situation is making it very difficult. Yeah. It's pretty difficult situation for this person, but she has the right mindset. She will find somebody, like job-wise, she will find somebody, some boss or manager who will appreciate her. The problem with this thing is, this thing hurt her so much that maybe by her next job, she won't be giving her 110%. By her next job, she will think about it. She will have this thing that this filter of hers that she won't be appreciated, so she won't work so hard as before, just because somebody hurt her in this way. And then they say you can find anybody who works. Yeah. Pretty dumb people. The worst thing about working is seeing how easy previous generation had it. Let's see. This is interesting. Let's see it. Let's read it. Oops. What happened? I wanted to open this thing. Yeah. The worst thing about working is seeing how easy If you have boomer colleagues and listen to their stories, I get depressed right away. They sent out like 5 resumes and got a job. Many didn't have HS university. Yeah. Yeah. I've been in this situation myself. Rejected by hundreds and hundreds of jobs. I mean, maybe previous generation, they had it like easier to get a job because earlier life was maybe it looked easier for us at this point of time because we see it. You are born in a family, normal family, let's say, to working parents, then you go to school, then you may or may not finish your college or go to a college, but it's just like, you have the stability, the job stability, you know that you're gonna have a job, you're gonna find something. And then you find a wife or a husband, then you're gonna marry, you have kids, and you buy a house and 2 cars or 2 houses, 2 cars, and everything will be okay. The thing is, I myself, I didn't live through this period, so I don't know if this is true, if life was just easier back then. The thing is, maybe they had it easier. It sounds like it was easier, but giving into those kind of thoughts is just maybe like, how should I explain this? Yes, they had it easier, but we're in this situation right here, right now. This victim mentality, maybe a little bit of victim mentality that, okay, I'm not saying that this person isn't right. They are right. But complaining about it, I'm saying it because I was in the same situation, I used to think yeah, previous generations, they had it easier, this and that. Now the life is just harder. It's difficult to find a good job. It's difficult to do this, to do the other thing. It's difficult to grow, right? Like in your career. But at the end of the day, this kind of thoughts and behavior, it's not helping me. It's just validating those thoughts, validating that I myself, maybe I'm a victim of this, of my time. And victimizing yourself won't do you any good. I'm not saying that this person right here is victimizing. I'm just saying this post sounds like, I'm just saying if you give into those kinds of thoughts, it's because you're taking the side of the victim, and it makes you feel maybe a little better, validated because you're a victim. But the thing is, it won't help you. It won't help you to be a victim. Yes, you have to send 100 resumes to land a job. Yes, training is shitty. Yes, onboarding is also so short and this and that and everything. But also, our generation, and especially the generations after mine, for example, the younger people, they're just capable of doing so much stuff. Like earlier, if you have a job for 40 years, you just know what to do. You just know how to do one thing, or let's say 10 things in your jobs. But now, because you have to be so adaptable, we are able to do a lot of things. It's not so easy like just saying, yeah, stay positive and you'll find something, but it is like that. I'm also struggling to find a job. And yeah, it's a difficult topic. This one. Like, do you want to be the victim and just say, oh, okay, I don't have it so easy, now I'm just gonna give up? No, just stand, and if you have to send 100 resumes, then send 200. Of course, you'll find something. Again, I'm not going against this person right here or anything. I'm not saying that he or she is a victim. I'm not saying that I am a victim. I'm not saying that every one of you is victim. Just if you find those thoughts in your mind, just think about that. Maybe they're not so good for you. Let's continue. I put my 2 weeks and my manager said I have to tell her where I'm going. See? I had in my resignation yesterday and my manager actually had the nerve to say I need to disclose my next employer. Like what? I told her that the person, of course, yeah. Like this person is not, they don't have to tell anything to their current employees. It's just a matter of personal business, it is. Remember when cubicles were portrayed as depressing while working in an open space? I wish I had a privacy. Let's see. That's okay. I'm curious about it because, yeah, it's like from this picture is from the Invincibles, right? And that's Mr. Invincible for those of you who don't know, but I'm pretty sure everyone knows. That's Mr. Incredible who has superpowers, but he can't show them. So he has to work on a normal job in this kind of a cubicle. So yeah, let's see. Work in an open space. What is an open space? It's like the whole office, but it's just open and everybody is able to see everybody. Maybe, yeah. Open spaces are pushed by people who have their own office. Yeah. I don't know what the reason about open spaces is. Like, yeah, it is good to have your private space, but maybe this private space, like, because it's so small, it makes you depressed. I don't know. Collaboration and team player are often used terms. Yeah. Shout out to my company's CPO who sent my whole department email reminding us to adhere hybrid policy after he was done. This is also bullshit. Like, if your job allows you to be, let's say you're an owner or manager or whatever, and the job that you are doing allows you to do it from home, like from remote work. There are a lot of studies that say people are more productive when home office, when staying in home office. Then why you should force somebody to go to an actual office, a physical space, just because they have to? Just because you are thinking that they're not doing anything. Why? If the only thing that should be important for you, it should be like, is this person productive or not? If he or she is productive, then it doesn't matter if they are working from the moon or from Jupiter or whatever. Yeah, that's the same one I lied about my current salary in the interview. Let's see. So I've been on job hunting. I had an interview last week. They asked me what I'm making now. I bumped it to push the offer higher. I got the job. New salary is 20k, more than what I actually make, not the inflated number. Of course. Like, it's exactly what this comment right here says. They will lie to you to pay you less whenever possible. Of course. If you have to squeeze a little bit more money, then of course. Of course. Yeah. It doesn't matter if you lied or not, you got more money, so yeah. My boss insulted me in front of anyone, in front of everyone. I accidentally said what I was thinking out loud. Ooh, that sounds interesting. I would be lying if I tell you that I'm not nervous or what just happened. It literally sent shivers down my spine and I'm just acting cool about it. So earlier at work, at the company-based one since I also have a remote one. We were in team meeting and my boss made a joke about how slow I was with my tasks. I rolled my eyes, muttered something like maybe if you actually checked on your own emails once in a while, and oops, the room went quiet and that's when I realized that everybody heard it. I could even feel my heart pounding because of how the silence lingered the very room. Boss didn't look happy because who would be? But honestly, he saw like jokes was more insulting on my part and publicly people break telling me how brave I was. I'm not proud. I was risky. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. It was just an accident. You told him how you feel about it. Yeah. If the boss values you, then it will just pass. So everything's alright. And this one is wild. I couldn't stop laughing during an interview because of this sub. Thanks a lot, folks. Zoom interview with company. Ooh, that's pretty long. With the 2.2 Glassdoor rating. But it's the first one I've gotten since I got laid off, so I accept 2.2 Glassdoor rating. What is Glassdoor? Uh-huh. Yeah, it's some other platform to search jobs. Yeah, okay. It's a call center job, appointment setting. Man and woman doing the interview and they are telling me about it. Man says they are scheduled mandatory overtime red flag. Mandatory overtime. Is there a mandatory overpay? I asked the compensation rate for this and he says it's at the same rate as regular pay. It's at the same rate as regular pay. Then they can go somewhere. I think that might be against labor laws, but they said something about how you work a half shift on some days and double on the other, so I guess just here. You're working a full-time job, like in America, maybe there is not like some exactly hours that you have to work. Like in Europe, it's pretty common that the full-time jobs are like 40 hours or 38 and a half. So you just have to work your like the hours that are in your contract. If you work 1 hour more, they have to somehow compensate you. At least it is how it should work and how it works in some countries in Europe at least. So I couldn't help it, I snorted and then I went in, I tried to hold it, but it's getting worse and worse. It's getting worse and worse, man. The health benefits cost around $650 for a single person. Health benefits. Okay. I started giggling more, couldn't hold it, and I thought what you would have said about this crap job. For perspective, that's a whole week amount of pay for the benefits. Ooh. So, in America, you have to pay from your own salary to pay your benefits. The health benefits. So you have a salary, and from this salary, let's say you're earning $2,000. Maybe it's more, or like let's say $2,000 in a month, just for example. And they're deducting from this 2,000, like you're signing your contract, you're like 2,000 is a little low, but just for example, just you are gaining $2,000 in a month. Then from these $2,000, they're deducting you $650 just for the benefits. Like right here in Europe, we pay taxes. We have this brutto and the netto salary. Like whenever you sign a contract, you sign a brutto salary. But based on this brutto salary, you pay taxes. And then what remains after taxes is what you receive of your netto salary. So yeah, it's basically maybe some similar concept. I don't know, because you're paying taxes in Europe, that is, you pay taxes in general, but some part of those taxes, they go into your health benefits. I don't know which one is better. I don't know. Maybe this American way. Yeah, it's just like somebody in Europe telling you you're gonna have this salary in brutto, and then you deduct. Yeah, okay. Yes, static. Yeah, mandatory on call times that are uncompensated just in case you're needed. Yeah, Morgan. When you finish your own queue, you help your coworkers. I was biting it inside my cheeks and pretending to go, but the man was getting increasingly indignant that I couldn't stop laughing. It was just so ridiculous, yeah. The job pays $16 an hour. And you provide your own equipment, so they want to put spyware on my personal computer, and I have to provide 2 monitors. Man, this is ridiculous. Like, assuming this one is... all of this is true, this is just ridiculous. No one wants to work anymore on this kind of shit is what... Man. Let's see. Where's my calculator? Let's see. So $16 an hour. Let's say you're working 8 hours. That makes $128. Let's say you're working 25 days. What? 25... $3,200. So you are telling me your salary is $3,200, and from this you have to deduct $650 for this health insurance. So you're winning. Your salary is eventually $2,550. Okay. But you are telling me you have to provide your own equipment, your own laptop and 2 monitors. Man, it's crazy. What was cool was that I felt empowered because I knew you all would share my indignation of bullshit job. 30 cows an hour is a lot. I mean, 30 cows, did it say? Okay, edit. Forgot to add that the company info goes on and about empathy to clients, but then there's an average of 30 calls per hour. 30 calls, like, if we're concentrated 100%, 30 calls per hour is just only 2 minutes per call. How can you feel empathy to the clients when you have 2 minutes for one call? I haven't done call center work before, so I had no idea of what is realistic, but after reading these comments, maybe I misheard, and it was 30 calls a day. Yeah, maybe. Not positive in any case, the rest were enough red flags. One more edit. I'm not an AI, I am a 60-year-old grandmother who got laid off in July and has been struggling to find anything to work for me. Took this interview because it was the only one I had been offering so far. Apparently I use M dashes. That's a sign of an AI. It is a sign of an AI, yeah. Sorry, that's just the way I write since I learned back at the dark ages. See? How do you remedy a full issue? Because, yeah, of course. Worked ISP support for 3 years. After code, they keep it under 10-15 seconds ideally. Call 70-minute go. Oh, this is crazy. The reason why maybe we don't have so much time now. Yeah, 5 minutes. In the last 5 minutes, we'll be talking about that. First, let's see what Henry Ford had to say about it. The people with a 5-day week will consume more goods than the people with a 6-day week. People who have more leisure must have more clothes. They must have a greater variety of food. They must have more transportation facilities. They naturally must have more service of various kinds. This increased consumption will require greater production than we now have. Instead of businesses being slowed up because the people are off work, it will be speed up. This will lead to more work, and this to more profits. Well, the man was a genius. He just think about it. Henry Ford, when did Henry Ford live? Henry Ford. So he was born in 1863 and died in 1947. Let's say this idea of his, it came around 1920, 1910, something like that, at the beginning of the 20th century. Man, he introduced a 5-day week more than 100. When was introduced? When was the 5-day work week introduced? Let's see. Let's see what the AI we're gonna say. Early 20th century, yeah. 5-day work week was introduced more than 100 years ago. In those 100 years, we went from this kind of images, this kind of technology, cars and everything. We went to this kind of images. Okay, not like the Earth, like space. We went to space. We have AI now. We are far more productive now than we've ever been, and we still use the 5-week model, the 5-day week model. It's wild. Like, one person is so much more productive because of technology, and still we have to work 5 days a week. Why is that? Henry Ford, he knew it better. He knew it better. Like, if you have more free time, you consume more. Then why you have to work 5 days a week now? Even though one person, like, I'm sure because of technology, one person in one day can do the 5-day work of the person in 20th century, like at the beginning of 20th century. I'm sure of it. That's why some countries like Japan, I think, was first. No, Japan, they have other work standard. But some Europe countries, they have like this new work plan, like 4 days a week. During the Corona times, it was discovered that if you work less, you'll consume more. And it will bring more profits to the companies. Like, if you are, first of all, it will reduce unemployment because more people have to be employed. Like, if you have 5 people doing a job for 5 days, and then you put these 5 people on a 4-day work schedule, then you have to hire one person more to do this extra work. So it will reduce unemployment, of course keeping the same salaries. it will reduce unemployment, and it will make that the people consume more, and the companies will have better. The companies will have more benefits of it. Like, if just imagine if you are working 4 days a week and you have 3 days a week free. How are you gonna use this extra day? And with that question, our timer is up. Make sure you comment under the video your favorite subreddit so next time we can check it out. Thanks for watching and see you next time.